I hope you enjoyed the ride, because now we're coming back down to reality. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the eviction moratorium in the Atlanta area and in the city of Atlanta coming to an end. And as a result, we're having thousands upon thousands of evictions take place, a record-setting number of evictions all at once. Now, this was bound to happen. People just lived and were not paying rent and were doing other things with their money, which is a different story we get to a little bit later. They were doing different things and weren't really focused on having a place to live. They thought they could just live forever without paying rent, and now they're being evicted. Now, I feel bad for some people because times are hard. It's rough out here, but if you've been living for a year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever the case may be, since the panorama, since the scamdemic, if you've been living for that amount of time without paying rent, you're just not really using your time wisely, in my humble opinion. And now we have a lot of evictions that have come about as a result of all this going on. Now, let's get into a video. I want to see what is being said here exactly. If you want to see this video in full without my commentary, y'all know what to do. Links always in the description box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
An estimated 12,000 tenants in Atlanta who are behind on rent have gotten eviction letters.
12,000 tenants, not 1,200, 12,000. It's a lot of people all at once.
Housing official asked Atlanta City Council members to find a way to help. Fox 5's Morris Diggs explains the evictions have restarted after a pause during the pandemic.
If you've ever had a family member who's been evicted, well, the financial strain they face, that's obvious. But there's also an emotional burden. For example, when a school-aged child is pulled out of the classroom, the parents got to find another place, or worse, a shelter. You don't have to fall under the legal definition of poverty to have all your belongings put out on the street because you got way behind on the rent.
Filings have ramped up the mounting number of evictions in Fulton and DeKalb counties.
This Atlanta Housing Commission official estimates 12,000 tenants have been or are now under an eviction threat. The pause on legal filings did not erase a rent balance.
Let's pause right there. So they paused the actual rent payment being due, but the balance was accruing. So here's what can happen. Your rent is $1,000, just for math's sake. Bear with me. There was a moratorium or a pause on you paying that, but while you're not paying, the balance is steadily ramping up. So you live in there, you thinking it's rent-free for, 3 years now since the pandemic, I suppose? Has it been going on since then? Anybody in Atlanta, y'all please let me know. So let's just say it's been 3 years, $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. $36,000, that's your bill. And you've not paid it, and now they're saying, hey, you know what? You got to pay $36,000 or get out. Let's see if that is accurate.
And being forced from the home can turn lives upside down.
And have to move out of their school districts, right? Can't attend the same school. That disruption is a huge inhibitor for educational attainment for kids.
This is the first time they got me down for eviction.
A senior living in this large complex has a different circumstance. Veronica Showers explained to her landlord about a series of personal setbacks.
I do security. I worked every day, but it's like I was just working for nothing. Every time I got paid, they went in, they was getting the loans.
How many months are you behind?
Lord have mercy, 11,000 something.
Andrew.
So you heard that right there. She's like, I am $11,000 behind. So that's what I'm saying. That could be 8-9 months, a year, something like that. I'm not sure how much her rent is. That could be about 8 months. Yeah, she's not paid, and then it's going to be a balance accruing. So then when it comes time to say, hey, you got to pay that. I have my opinion about this whole thing, about the pause and the debt still accruing. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's just get through the rest of this.
Andrew Sneggenberger said late fees and other charges keep residents even further behind. He says new government assistance is needed.
And it's good practice to make sure that the two branches of government are working in coordination to make sure that we're spending money as well as we can.
One of the members, Antonio Lewis, reminded the body that not too long ago, the city had to give back federal funding, $10 million that was intended for housing.
So that's that. That's what's going on right now in ATL, and that's probably happening all over the U.S. Maybe it happened earlier than this. Maybe it's still going to happen, but that's going on. Eviction moratorium coming to an end, and the rent that you owe that's been piling up, you got to pay it up or you got to get out. Now, most people are simply not going to be able to do it. If you couldn't pay $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000, whatever your rent is, if you couldn't pay that at all for 3 years, then how are you going to pay this big bill, $10,000, $11,000, $20,000 all at once? How are you going to pay that? You're not going to be able to pay it. And you know what? The problem is that the lockdown happened at all. There shouldn't have been, the lockdown really ruined this country in quite a few ways because you're not able to go out there and work. Most people don't have enough money just to be able to say, all right, I'm not going to work for X amount of time. Okay, they don't have that kind of money to say, I'm just not going to work for a month or 2 months or even a week because it's check to check. What they say, most Americans don't have $600 in the bank to pull in case of an emergency. You're living check to check. Even if you make six figures, you might live check to check. That's just the reality. So the problem here is not necessarily the renters not being able to pay. Well, that's a problem, obviously, because they're about to get evicted. 12,000 people have been issued notices. But the problem is a lockdown. Like, that really just messed everything up. The scamdemic, the lockdown, and then the lockdown was all for nothing. It didn't even really do anything. There was no purpose to the actual lockdown other than messing us up. You got depression, drug use, divorce, all kind of poverty, all that kind of stuff just steadily increasing as a result. And did we get any healthier? No. I mean, we got the vaccine. We got the vax, but then I'm hearing some complications as a result of that, allegedly. So what did we really get from the lockdown? Did it help us at all? It just put us in a hole. And this thing here is a consequence of the lockdown. As I close, I want to say this. I have a question for you guys. Do you think that there will be so many evictions that are coming about all at once, or even over the period of time in which the evictions built up, if not for the lockdown? Because most people, they're just trying to go to work and they're just trying to pay their bills. You have some that want to go ball out and spend the money on different things. You know, I've seen quite a bit of that. People think, okay, my rent is not owed, which it is owed, but they think that it's not because they're not paying it. So then they go take their money and go on vacations. You know, you see Instagram, people living their lives up for the gram, going to Jamaica, Cancun, etc. They're doing all these things. Meanwhile, they're not paying their rent. Some of that's going on, but your average normie does not do that. The average normie just wants to go to work, pay their bills, get something to eat, take care of the kids, take care of themselves or whatever. But you can't do that because of the whole lockdown thing. That's complicated so many matters, and we're seeing the mess play out right now. Then it's going to be a matter of, okay, let's get some federal funding, but I don't think the federal funding is going to come. It's not going to be there. People voted for Joe Biden because they thought that he would give them some kind of relief with the student loans and everything else. That relief didn't come, which we knew it wasn't going to come. That relief didn't come. The eviction moratorium is about to be over with. So we're just in a really bad situation. And then you have on top of that, you compound that with the inflation problem. You got a really big mess happening, and the guy in office is not doing anything to try and come to a resolution. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the eviction moratorium in Atlanta and other parts of the country coming to an end and mass evictions happening? Where are these people going to go? Where are they going to go? They're going to go to the streets and they're going to go to their car? Are they going to have to move to a different state, move out of the city? Where are they going to go? That's my question. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This I blame on the scamdemic and the lockdowns. So whoever did the lockdown, whether it be the president, whether it be the governor, the mayor, whoever it is, I blame them. Now, I kind of give him a little bit of credit because I understand the virus was scary or whatever, but this was never going to work from the beginning. All right. If it was me, if you could just ask me, if I'm just out there working a job, front facing or whatever, I'd rather would just risk whatever I'm going to risk by being out there and getting my money rather than not being allowed to make money. Then I'm put in a situation where I still owe the money I couldn't make during a time where I was told I couldn't make it. It just makes no sense to me. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.